Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Sheila Bila, and I'm coming to you with another review of Grown in Gospels. This is the first season, episode 3. Yeah, I'm getting to this review late because I live in Arkansas, and child, the tornadoes that came down through here. It hit my neighborhood. Thank you, Jesus. It did not hit my house, but like the houses over from me. Oh my God, it's really bad. Their houses are destroyed. Some of them completely destroyed. Some of them are partially destroyed. Some of them, and I live in an area where there are a lot of trees. So yeah, trees were everywhere on everybody's houses in the street. Um, a few houses down, they had to get the lights had got turned out, but thankfully my lights were not. It's an fortunate, unfortunate event depending on, which end of the spectrum that you're on. But yeah, it's really bad. I've never, all my years, I lived in my home for 13 years, and we've had tornado warnings, of course. We've even had you know, the tornadoes are close by, but I've never in my life ever seen a tornado be this close to me to where I can literally walk outside of my house and see the damage of somebody's home. Like that's crazy. I was like, oh my God. But y'all just continue to pray for my neighborhood, continue to pray for everyone home that was hit by the tornadoes. I guess it's that season now, but I never would have thought that it would have been that close to me. And it was crazy too because my husband was like, "We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here." And I'm fussing with him like, "I'm not going nowhere. I'm not. I'm that stupid. Why are we getting out here?" Because he was like, "I can't see all these trees. I can't see." But we ended up leaving and going away from the tornado. And I was like, okay. But when we got back to view the neighborhood, it was, oh my God. It just brings you to tears to see that people have to evacuate their homes. They have to find new places of shelter, and I don't even know if everybody has family here in the area or if they even have money to go to hotels because all the lights were out in certain areas because we have Kroger here, the Kroger was down. It was crazy. Like a lot of the businesses were down, power lines everywhere. Like, oh my God, it was just a mess. I've never seen anything this close and personal, like the aftermath of it this close. As long as I've lived here, lived in my home, lived in Arkansas, period. But yeah, it's something. But nevertheless, my family is okay. And continue just to keep up, just to pray for the surrounding families here. Because they actually my daughter's school, they let her out of school early because they knew that it was going to get bad. And it was crazy because my husband was like, it's not going to get bad. It's not going to get bad. And I'm like, yeah, it looks like it's going to get bad. And I had got my car detailed. Well, I had got my car serviced earlier because I had to take a trip to Louisiana well, Saturday because this is like 12 a.m. So this is actually a new day, Sunday. So I had to go to Louisiana to get my daughter a prom dress, which we did. We found her prom dress in Louisiana. And so I was just trying to prepare for the next day, not even thinking about that Friday or whatever. But it was something. My husband's not gonna get that bad, but it got that bad. And yeah, it got bad. And I feel like, I don't know, it was almost an episode of Twister or something. It was just crazy. It was a huge, and then I was like, was it one tornado or was it five? Because it just hit so many different areas. It was crazy. But anyway, nevertheless, we're going to get into Grown in Gospel. So the episode picks up with Brianna. She was talking to Jay on the phone. She was talking to Jay about the whole situation with with Julian. Is that his name? Child, forgot the boy name. I think his name is Julian. And is it Jalen? Julian? Jay. I'm just gonna say Jay because I can't remember his name right now. But the whole deal with him about how he was completely being disrespectful, throwing her shoes in the trash, and people always say, and I hate when people say that's just the way that he is. That's just the way that he is. I don't have to accept you for the way that you are. If that's the way that you are, do that with somebody else, but don't get upset with me when I don't agree with how you are. And that's what they try to say. Oh, that's just the way that he is. He just likes to press your buttons, the buttons he can press. Um, well, if that's the way that you are, then you have to accept the way that I am. And if I punch you in the face every time you been the way that you are, then it's going to always be a situation. And a lot of times you think you want to just turn the other cheek, quote unquote. But if somebody is just poking with you, keep putting your hands in this girl's hair, putting your fingers in her cake, talking about that party that she child, but that party. I, I don't care what nobody say. You hired a whole decorator. Now you had money. Well, maybe you know what? Maybe the decorator did it for the free. I'm gonna say that the decorator did it for the free, and that's all they could come up with. Cause I was like, yeah, that party was something, and that wasn't good. But if that's what you can afford, then that's what you can afford. But I don't know. That was just crazy to me. But she was just kind of over it. Like, oh, and by the way, Jay is in Mexico, and I just came from Mexico like last week. Night and day. But anyway, yeah, but yeah, I guess what they want from her. They just want to give him a little bit more pushback. Like, don't allow him to treat you the way that he treats you. If you have a feeling about it, about the way that he's treating you, then it's okay to talk your talk back. Because he's going. Apparently, he's not going to change. So you have to be assertive in who you are to where you ain't gonna change either. So now you have Nikki and Latasha. Apparently, child, her husband is coming into town, and they are separated on the brink of divorce. We'll get into that later, but she is going to get her legs waxed, and Nikki told me you need to go get that kitty cat wax, honey, because that that kitty cat is a wolf, so you need to go get that wax too, honey. But yeah, so she was like, I ain't getting that wax. I'm just getting my legs waxed. And you know what's so crazy? My sister-in-law, she introduced me to getting waxes because I'm just, but child, that wax, if you breathe, breathe, honey, because it feels like they snatching your soul out of your body. Especially my very first wax. I thought that lady didn't like me. And I know my mind said, child, I almost reached up to touch her. I almost reached up and touched that lady in the head, and because when she ripped like my soul. I felt my spirit come out. I said, "What is going on?" I did this nervous laugh, like a nervous laugh to keep me calm. But I had to remember that this woman was doing the job, and this lady don't even know me. She just working. I didn't think that it was supposed to feel like that. But anyway, yeah, I'm like, I both my lips there. Do I got one lip or two? I mean, what is going on? And then when she said, and then she was like, she said, bend over. I said, bend over for what? What I'm, what I'm bending over? Cause she had to get back there too. I said, so that's, oh, that don't hurt. But it actually really didn't hurt. I was like, okay, so that part don't hurt. It's just the other part. If y'all ladies know what I'm talking about, if y'all get waxed, when they say the bend over part, you know what I mean, because they want to wax your booty hole. It's just, it is what it is. But she said she ain't getting that wax. She just gonna get her legs. So she in there getting the legs. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. See my tie and tie my tie. While she over there getting the wax off, she just over talking about her husband and saying like she want her husband to touch her from the inside parts and call her name. And that's what she wants. She hope it leads to a good night. I mean, and in all aspects, we do generally want marriage to work because God has ordained marriage and he loves marriage. He smiles upon it, but he does. He hates marriage. I mean, he hates divorce. And he, but if you're in a situation, I always say, according to biblical law, it's either adultery or death. And you can also separate. But if nobody is really agreeing on what it is, I mean, some got to give because you can't be separated too long without somebody falling out to where you can actually get the adultery card pulled so you can get a divorce. But I mean, hey, if you want to make your marriage work, then you let your marriage work. But it has to be two people. It can't be one-sided, but we'll get that later. Yeah. So now you have this dude. He wants to make over Brianna. And he has this other lady. I don't have her name. I guess she's the what they call them people, the not the makeup artist but the wardrobe specialist or whatever she is. She's coming to stop the stylist. She's gonna style Brianna, and they talk about her hair. She says she loves her hair, but this dude, he says he wants her to be a better version of herself. He was like, he don't want her to look like a daddy's girl. And he's just really ragging on her. And then he also goes back to, and if everything goes back right, then he's going to get all the credit. But I'm just like, who are you to tell somebody what they should and should not look like? Because you look real country. Now, I know I'm from Arkansas, but we do have a little couth about how we dress. We don't be running around here looking like with all the clothes on. It's look like they put on all their clothes. Like they wake up in the morning and say, what are all the clothes that look good today? And they put them on. Like she got on this big hat, big old glasses, hair you can't even see her face, a marine, what is this? A army jacket, a big poof shirt. Like she put on all her clothes, and then some different color shoes. But you a stylist. Like sometimes less is more. I mean, really. And then you took her to this place talking about Detroit has some hidden gems, but that bed sheet, my daughter has that bed sheet, and I got that from Walmart. Just because it say Paris don't mean it's rich. I mean, I got that from I got the same bedspread comforter for my daughter from Walmart. And then you got it on that bed. That bed look like it's what's the word? It's vintage, but then you got them sheets that look like you just went and bought them down there at the Walmart. Like that wasn't no more than about $39.99 or $49.99 if it's a king size. Child, them old cotton sheets, and I bet she's sweating right now, getting on them sheets. Oh, hot sheets. But anyway, child, they finna style Bree, try to make her look like what they want her to be. But anyway, so Bree comes in. And he says he don't want to apologize, but he wants pretty much them to get an understanding, right? About the context of what he was doing. And he was saying what she should have done was when she saw her boots in the trash, she should have been like, boy, don't you be messing with my boots. Get my boots up out the trash. But everybody is not like you. Everybody doesn't have that same directness about them. Some people are more timid than others. And then she was saying, I understand your opinion about me, but it's an opinion. It's like buttholes. Everybody has one. And then he said, well, some buttholes are bleached, but she said they still stink, which they do. They still stink because stuff's, come on, it's a butthole. We know what that smell like. You know what I'm saying? Bleached to unbleached, whatever travels through there, it smells. But he's just trying to make it seem justified. He's just trying to justify the way that he is. And that's not cool. It's almost like he puts on this persona. I want you to be the best version of yourself. I want you to go out and do this and do this. But it's not what she wants to do. It's what you want her to do. It's what you want her to be. It's what you feel like she should look like. And that's the problem. It's like you were not even taking accountability for how you were acting. how you are treating her. You're just looking at the fact, like, then it's almost like he's trying to get shock value for this TV show. It's like he wants to be this villain, but try to make it seem like he's a victim in a way as well. And he playing on her feelings, like what they say, playing on her top. That's not cool at all. You keep your top to the bottom, because that's crazy. Because you, anyway. But I don't understand why this dude is so invested, because he don't even, anyway. Bree, you let them talk you into all that mess, whatever. So now we have this whole scene with Tasha and Brianna. And remember when I had said on my very first interview, I said that she was like, was she a stripper? And then on my second interview, I was like, well, y'all forgive me. I don't know. I just thought, for some reason, I thought that she was a stripper back in her past days. So come to find out, you know, Latasha comes over to her house and bring her a housewarming gift, and also is trying to smooth over what Jay was doing to her, making her feel bad about what she had. And she comes over, all gives her gifts. I guess everybody gives gifts when they go somewhere, but gives gifts and talk about her apartment, how small and quaint. I didn't know it was that small. I didn't know it was a studio. Child, I didn't know it was a studio. And apparently she worked in finance. Is she a telemarketer? Because she said she be calling clients, telling them how to invest their money. That sounds like a telemarketer, don't it? Because I work in finance. I'm an accountant. I don't call nobody. Anyway, but I guess finance are different levels. But I ain't never known them to call nobody and ask them how they want to. And yeah, I ain't never known that. I think she a telemarketer. But I mean, we got to get it how we live, right? But they sit down and they ended up talking, and they talk about their past things that they went through in their life. You know, she talked about when okay, Tasha talks about how she was working at the strip club. Well, she wasn't a stripper, she was a singer at the strip club. And how she does hair, she was doing cosmetology, but she didn't really feel like that was her placement, because when she would be doing hair and all this stuff, she would be envisioning herself singing, all this, because that's all she wanted to do. And then Brianna talks about, she said, yeah, when you bring up the strip club thing, she said she was actually the one that was stripping, taking her clothes out, trying to make it rain, get the people to make it rain on her, because her mom had just got divorced, and she was really, while her mom was getting her bachelor's degree, she was really trying to help her mom, I guess, pay the bills, because she said she didn't want to feel like a burden. And Natasha said, "Do your mom know that you were doing that?" She was like, she was just trying to keep it covered as much as she can. And she said she also went to cosmetology school as well, but she didn't like the attitudes. And then she talked about how she being around a strip club and she seeing all these beautiful women, and she began to have same-sex attraction, and she got off into that. And Tasha, same thing. Around 14 years old, she had same-sex attraction until she was like 19, and then I guess she ended up getting married after that. But the point is, they have so much in common. It's like they're almost mirror images of themselves. They actually did a lot of the same things. But for some reason, when Bree came back around, Tasha was really kind of dragging her a little bit too much. But now you know her story. Now you can empathize and sympathize with her and not be so harsh, because you see that y'all have been through a lot of the same things, you know? So sometimes you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Sometimes you actually have to read it. And then you will know that this girl isn't as bad as, or as off-putting as you deem her to be. And I mean, that's all a part of the journey. We've all been through things. And like they said, don't nobody want their I'm a pastor, my daddy is a famous singer doing gospel music. Nobody wants their child to be, you know what I'm saying, taking those paths. But just because your dad is a pastor, or mom is a pastor, or a famous gospel preacher, it doesn't mean you're exempt from life happening, whether you in the church or out of the church. exempt because life happens, but it's up to you how you're going to handle the life that's given to you. So, and then they just kind of have prayer, and it seemed very sincere. They seemed like they actually touched and agreed to to thanking God for their journey, but to actually understanding each other just a little bit more, that they're not as separate as they thought that they once were. Mainly Tasha. They're a lot alike. So yeah. This is the day of the photo shoot. And for some reason, Jay is trying to get this girl in the bed. And I'm just like, are you literally or figuratively trying to get her in the bed? I know that bed is there, you know what I'm saying, for this photo, but she's just like, no, I do inspirational music. She does not so much gospel music, but she does music that's inspirational. You know, it has that gospel background. Um and she's saying, I'm not trying to get uncomfortable. And that's the thing. You don't have to push this person to be what you want to be. So she's talking about how much of this envelope can I push? So if she wants to have this gospel background, then you need to dress her accordingly. I mean, everybody was saying that she was looking good in her photo shoot. Well, she's a beautiful girl. You don't have to do much, but I don't think, to me, this doesn't look like her. This looked like she was the used to be stripper to me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't look like her. This whole attire, it doesn't look like her. To me, she actually looks kind of like blow up-y. Like them blow up dolls with that red lipstick. You know, like you just blow her up. You know, that's what she looks like. It doesn't give, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't, I don't know. But if she like it, I love it. So then you have Tasha and her mom coming, what's her mom? Latasha. What's her mama name? Lisa Page. And I actually was just listening to her today, Lisa Page. I want to say thank you. But she's a preacher too. So I guess she's preacher mom, preacher dad, preacher. And at first when I was looking at this scene, I didn't know where the mama was going, because I know they were talking about the whole divorce situation, about, Tasha's husband coming in, and she was saying she wants to keep her marriage and all that stuff. But at first I thought the mom was making it seem as if she shouldn't get divorced. But then later on in the conversation, she said, "So are you willing to listen to talk to an attorney?" So it's almost as if the mom is like, "You might need to go ahead and do this," because I always look at it like, if you're not happy and you're living separate lives, you don't know what this dude is doing. You don't know what he got going on. So I understand you want to fight for your marriage. I do. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But if he's not fighting along with you, what are we fighting for? Y'all not even in the same vicinity to fight. Y'all not even in the same home to fight. Y'all not even in the same breath to even fight. So if someone is not there, then it's almost like you're fighting by yourself, even though y'all married on paper. And then the mama, you can tell her mama a preacher child. She was using the preacher hands, the preacher voice. Sometimes just talk to me, mama, like regular. Because my mom is a pastor too, and my dad. And they just be talking like, Sheila, girl. It's raw. It ain't like all these hands and stuff. Now, sometimes my daddy do get a little handsy. And I be like, put your hands down, daddy. But overall, it's always straight. No, maybe she doing it because they on camera. I'm going to just chalk it up to that. They do this because they on camera. And they want to have the preacher voice on for the camera. But child, sometimes that preacher voice be too much. But they had prayer. And she going to try one more time, I guess, to make it work. And we'll see what happens. So then they have this whole sit down with Shayna and Tasha. This, I really don't understand. Because, okay, from my understanding, Tasha and Shayna had a conversation about Tasha's husband and whatever they're going through in their marriage. So apparently Shayna was supposed to have seen Tasha's husband out and told him about the conversation. And then he went back and told Tasha So you out here dragging me all down through these Detroit streets. That's not verbatim, but that's pretty much the gist of what it was. And so Tasha is upset with Shayna because she was like, I'm trying to get my marriage back right. And you see my husband and you making it seem like I'm dogging him out here in these streets. And Shayna is like, we've had this conversation 3 times and I've never changed on my stance on what I said to, I guess your husband, what I said or what I did not say. And so as I was thinking about this and I was looking at it, I almost want to believe Shayna, because if looking on in the next scene that's going to come up, it's almost like her husband don't even want to be there no way. So it's like he's finding reasons to leave his marriage. So yeah, he probably put 20 on 10. She probably said, I'm praying for you and y'all marriage or whatever. But he probably seen his wife put 20 on 10. Yeah, I know you dragging me, maybe trying to fish for information. Even though he really don't know, but he trying to put it out there like he know. Like he heard something that he didn't hear. And then Latasha really not trying to hear, because even when they started out in the prayer, girl, Tasha was looking at her like, in the name of Jesus, okay, amen. And so I was like, it was almost like she wasn't willing to hear, because she automatically took the side of her husband. And she even said, what do I look like discrediting what my husband said to me? But I'm like, your husband ain't even in your house with you. So I would really discredit a lot of things that he says to you, because he don't even want to be there with you anyway. So, and then she makes this, and then Tasha says this thing to the effect of, I know this is not accurate what I'm about to say, but she said the people that's talking, she hoped that the people that's talking will not lie about something about the people that's running around here talking. She hopes that they don't just continue to lie about what's going on. And then she said, well, you will get if you understand what I'm saying, you get what I'm saying. So pretty much she's saying that this girl is just talking and she's still lying. But she's not even saying like her husband is a liar. She's still putting it on her as if she's a liar. The people that's out here talking will stop all this lying or something like that. But I was like, girl, you're projecting. You can't really get mad at your husband, so you get mad at Shayna. That's what I see. Let me know in the comments if that's what y'all see. So now you have this whole scene, child. Tasha put on her best church dress and her best heels. And she got this violinist and cook chef and all this stuff over to her house. And I said it looked like the husband was more excited to see the violinist than he was to see his wife. That's how. If you can see my eyes, you can see my eyes. But I'm just like, he come in with his turtleneck on, looking like Dietrich Haddon #2, and they hug, and she said they had a real big old wedding, and he was really, I guess, the man for her. But then she also kind of make it seem like he had secrets too. Like she didn't know that it was gonna be easy to love a man like him, but she said she still stuck through it. And also, come to find out, she was saying, okay, they exchanged these whole gifts, right? And she was saying, like, when the marriage got hard, you really stopped communicating with her. So he stopped in the marriage. But before I get into all of that, let me go into these gifts. They give each other these gifts, right? So she gave him a gift of a locket and a t-shirt that's saying I ain't drinking no more. And the locket says for trust, because he's a very private person, but you got him on national television. But he's a private person, and she wanted to keep his trust because she feels that she did betray his trust, right? So he gets up and he gives her, with his preacher voice on, the time. The time will tell. I'm going to give you this very expensive gift because the time will tell. I was like, nigga, shut up. Anyway, but he gave her a watch. So she said, I'm going to give you something else. So he told me, wow, an airplane? Oh, just. Anyway, so she comes out with her best lingerie. It probably ain't the best, but it's probably the most, I don't know. But she comes out in her lingerie with her leg out because she said that he likes legs. and the bust and the tatas, and she reaching out to him. He said, well, I didn't know it was gonna lead to this. You know how that whole you gonna let my arm fall off, you gonna let my hand fall off. That was what she was giving. And he just sitting there like, I didn't know it was gonna lead to this. I didn't want you to get this. I thought we were just gonna talk and have a conversation. And I'm just looking at him like, really? And you can tell that she was really hurt. First of all, you got this girl on national TV. She done put on her best lingerie with her bra up under there, with her shaved legs. And she done let her crochet braids down, honey. And you won't even catch this woman's hand, like you embarrassing her on national TV. And then they sit down and she gives up the part about how she, cheated in her marriage because of the simple fact that he wasn't even showing her affection. He wasn't kissing on her, loving on her, giving her what she needed as a woman. And you expect somebody to be sticking around with you like that? She said she would spend so much money on lingerie, walking around the house, and he looking at his phone. What is he looking at? Like, what is really going on? And you expect for somebody to be some things I don't understand. Now, I know God hates divorce and all that stuff, but if your man is deliberately, because the Bible says you're not supposed to reject your spouse. Like, woman can't deny the man can't deny the woman. So, and you supposed to be a preacher, you should know that. But my thing is, what you expect her to do? I mean, really, ain't nothing wrong with you. I don't think she ain't said you got her no accident, so your junk must still work. You just deny her because you don't want to, or you deny her because you looking at something else. I mean, it could be opposite sex or same sex, because you could do either way. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, y'all, this Sheila Bila. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And this episode was really good. Y'all have a great day. Bye.